All right. Shout out to Faisal Al Haji. Is it Al Haji? Faisal. I screwed up the last part of your name, man. I'm sorry. So, here's what's up. He asked me what happened, what contributed to the breakdown of Ronda Rousey's judo. All right, well, it was that in her losses, she wasn't doing judo. That's it. That's it. Another person that I have seen that had a breakdown like this was Dominic Cruz. And what do we know about Dominic Cruz? He changed his life. He changed his training. Changed his life. He changed his training. So he went in there, hopped around, and then got tagged up by T-Rex arms, and then had one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen. On one knee. He's on one knee. He's been hit like 4 times by T-Rex arms. He's not bleeding. There is not a mount position. He is just on one knee. The guy could shoot at any moment. Go watch that shit again. It didn't seem like he had stuff he could do. I understand the stoppage. The stoppage was Dominic Cruz wasn't doing shit to help himself win. He wasn't. So he got stopped whenever he got tagged. That's what happens when you don't hit the guy. I don't know what his significant strikes were, but it wasn't a lot of them. So it was the same thing that I saw in Ronda Rousey. Now, it's pure conjecture. It's wild-ass guessing. It's irresponsible for me to guess what happened in Ronda Rousey's life, in her personal life, that would have caused such a dramatic shift from champion to punching bag. I don't know. Now, I'm not going to speculate. But what I do know is that early in her fights, when she wins, she is in an aggressive fighting posture. Early in her fights, when she loses, she's standing straight up. She's looking confused, looking like she's trying to. There's somebody in the crowd that's gonna give her like permission to go fuck this person up. What all that means, I don't know. Did her coach die? I don't know. I walked around looking like that for 6 months after my dad died. So I don't know. I'm just speculating. But yeah, she was taking strikes, wasn't striking, and then her footwork collapsed. She just stood up, got pounded, got taken. That's mental. That ain't judo. Your judo doesn't break down. Your mental breaks down. And sometimes with fighters, what they do is they unwittingly create an alter ego that goes in there and does the fights, right? Well, if you create an alter ego to go do something, to go handle something, it'll break down at some point. It's got to be you, all of you. I'm not saying that's what Ronda Rousey did. What I'm saying is that what happened to her is symptomatic of that being the case, and that's what happens. One day, alter ego fails. They're like, oh, what do I, what? Yeah, you gotta do it. Take a look at Khabib, the Caucasus Mountain guys. Those guys are the same motherfuckers they are in the ring, they are out of the ring. It's one person. And they train. They do the spirituality of martial arts. They insert Islam as that spiritual system to connect higher. But Islam requires a lot of discipline. So it one helps the other. The discipline from Islam helps the discipline in martial arts. And it's Khabib Nurmagomedov, it's Zabit Magomedsharipov, it is, Khamzat Chimaev. It's those are the same motherfuckers doing the training. It's the same guy in the ring. It's the same guy with their wives. It's the same guy on the street. It's the same guy with their friends. And the only difference is one, they're employing their fighting techniques. They're mastering their craft. And the other one, they're not. They're not employing their fighting techniques and they're not mastering their craft. What it looked like that Ronda Rousey was going through was an identity crisis. It's what it just looks like. That's what identity crisis look like. If you see somebody and they don't, everything changes, their mannerisms, their body language, their personality changes. That's an identity crisis. Something happened. They're shaking up. Or something happened when they're little and it's just coming out now. That's what it looks like. All of a sudden, people that master shit can't master shit. And take a look at your own life. If you sit down with yourself and tell yourself good things. If all of a sudden you're losing your keys, calm down. Hey, what's stressing you out? Let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. And this is my message to you, Ronda Rousey, anybody else. You can't be two people. It's hard enough being one person. Just be one person. Just be you. It's okay to be you. You're great. You're fantastic. You can do anything. If you can do something, creating a second personality, that's just you doing it. You still did it. You still got those skills. You did it. That's your accomplishment. Matter of fact, it's a bigger accomplishment because you did it and you had to create this whole thing. You had this whole invisible baggage you had to carry. You know? So if you're walking around forgetful, losing your keys, you know, all of a sudden stuff that you're good at starts kicking your ass. You play guitar and then all of a sudden it's hard to play guitar. Calm down. Sit down. What's scaring you? You know? And then whatever it is, just be like, hey, I can do this. I've done this before. And it doesn't matter what it is. Nothing is worth living afraid. If you're afraid of losing your house, you got to be like, listen, man, I'm going to do what I'm going to do to ensure that this doesn't happen. But I can't live afraid. That'll whip your ass. You'll go from champion to identity crisis. Matter of fact, I did hear something that helped this identity crisis point from Ronda Rousey. Learn the lesson from other people. You got to learn your lessons the first time, and you got to learn lessons from other people. So let her be an inspiration. You can be a judo champion, and you can get over a downfall. She's doing all right. There's a photo of her, Ronda Rousey, with the guy who taught me, my cousin, my grandmother's brother, Dr. Kayvon Dehnad. So she met one of the dudes on the judo council. Wanted to go back to ancient time judo council. She's doing all right. 9th Dan red belt, I think is what he is now. I don't know. He's just my cousin Kayvon. I call him Kayvon John. I email him all the time. I send him messages on Facebook all the time. And every 4 or 5 years he gets back to me. He's busy. And he doesn't like speak English very much. And I can't write in Farsi. So that's where we're at. But she said something about taking a loss. Ronda Rousey said something about taking a loss, and she was just like, thought about suicide and stuff and didn't know how to get over it, because if she's not Ronda Rousey the champion, she didn't know who to be. And that's why you need the spirituality of martial arts. Jaya Vijaya. I master myself to master the universe. That's why that's so important. Because it's you that's doing this. You're kicking that person's ass because you've already defeated all the bad stuff inside you. You've already expelled it. You are using your martial arts to protect sacred things. What's a sacred thing? How about your health? That's sacred enough to me, right? So, if you're experiencing something, going through something, take a second. Here's one of my favorite meditations. Put my hand right here. You know, and I have a lot of Muslim friends, a lot of Islamic followers. So this is you can insert yours, but my mother is Bahai. So sometimes I use the Bahai mantra, and I just go, I'm okay. I'm okay. I feel good. I feel good. And then I go, Allah, Allah, Allah. And then I do the other one. Nur Allah. Nur Allah. Nur Allah. It's got a lot of good sounds in it. The A sound reverberates really, really well. Allah is a good, it's a word made of a lot of good sounds that do a lot of good things to your physical body. And among whatever else it does for practitioners of Islam for long term. I don't know. I don't practice Islam. I've been around it. I've done Ramadan a couple of times because my family members were doing it, you know. So, but that's good. And then, and I say that because those are my mom's mantras, and it makes me feel good that my mom, you know, is around. So I grab it here. Here's another one. And then I go, I feel good. And then I put my other hand. I got you. I got you. It's okay. It's okay. And then whenever I do the second one, I like to chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 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 Hare. Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. But you gotta coax yourself, man. I felt good. I did. You gotta coax yourself. You gotta manually make yourself feel good. And what do I think happened with Ronda Rousey's judo? Something happened with her mind, her identity. So that's a good lesson. You're not the fighter. That's not what you are. You're not your body. That's not what you are. You're an immortal aspect of the divine, which you are. So, on your inside, you master your body, you master everything. And then you master the external. You master the internal to master the external. Once you master the internal is mastered. If you don't master the internal, and then you go out and do stuff, it was a character created that went out and did that. That will break down. That will fail. Learn from Ronda Rousey. Because she is one of the greatest judo practitioners of all time. And then let a couple of bitches kick her in the head. Because she lost herself in here. And then she went and found herself. So even if you lose and get kicked in the head, you get up and you go do something else. Learn from Людей за Кавказ. Learn from the Caucasians, the Caucasus Mountains people. You go in there and you're one person. You train, same person fights, same person goes and loves their family. You're one person. You're one person. And you have something that's more important than fighting and the outcome of fighting. When you go fight, you're not worried about winning or losing. You just go in there every moment and you do your discipline. You do your training. Okay? Every moment. You don't care if you win, you lose, you die. You go in there and you fulfill your fate. You do it as best as you can. Pay attention and get it done. All right, that's the lesson here. And that's my esoteric blah, 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 blah. I've been talking for about 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes enough. Now I'm going to train. I'm going to go and run 5 miles on the running machine. I love the running machine. Love the running machine. I'm going to go run 5 miles. I'm going to go drink my matcha up. And yeah, I'm going to train with some kettlebells. And Salamati. That's how they say cheers in my mother's language. Salamati. Na zdarovye. Khorda. Khorda. Hafez. Khordafez. Ну пока. До свидания.